Hi guys, welcome to the Soul on Fire show. I am so excited today because today we're going to tap into the energies of miracles. I am so excited to have our guest who I found in the airport actually. I'm going to talk about the story of how I found this beautiful, amazing man that I'm about to bring on. And we're going to talk about how you can actually tap into the energy of you being a miracle. So today is Wednesday and we get to teach on Wednesday, guys. Thank you for being here on the live. Thank you for being here on the replay. I am so excited. So today, guys, I need you to sit tight and just get ready to play, get ready to laugh, get ready to have fun because today's guest is he's an international miracle maker. He's a transformational coach, and he literally changes lives in just understanding. When you see him and spend some time with him and spend the next hour together, you will see how he transforms lives. So we're going to talk about the energy of miracles and how we have the power within us. We're going to talk about seriously everything that the power of God, source universe, that comes through us and actually gets pulled through us out to the world. We're going to talk about understanding that you are more powerful than you will ever know and that you are the energy of the miracle. So let me tell you again about Kit Volcano. Kit Volcano is a master at changing lives. He is, like I said, he is the international miracle maker, and he will spend 5 minutes with you and change your life forever. He truly makes miracles happen. He's a transformational coach. He's a CEO, and his story is so beautiful. He went from homeless 6 years ago, and 1 year made over six figures, and now his business is a multi-million-dollar business, and he's exploded all over the world. I met him in the airport, and he is such an incredible man. And then we went on a mastermind, and we were together for 3 days. And in that 3 days, guys, we created so much magic together that I knew I had to have him on the show and bring him to you. So sit tight, grab a cup of coffee or a drink, and get ready to tap into the energies of miracles that are inside of you. We're going to bring Kit on right now, and we're going to get ready, guys, because I promise you we're going to play, but we're also going to have so much fun. Hey, Kit, how are you?
It is so hard for me to sit down right now. I'm like, I know that we queued up the screen for me to be sitting, but I'm like, I want to stand up. I'm so pumped to be on your show. I'm so excited to connect to your viewers. And there's this really beautiful moment as I was backstage, and I was just hearing the little sounds of you drinking water and clicking the keys and feeling this beautiful moment of silence. And I just sent out a prayer to connect to every single person that is meant to hear this right now, and to just surrender my mouth to God. Surrender my voice to God, to spirit, to infinite consciousness, and allow myself to speak and serve.
Thank you so much for being here. So let's talk about you and who you are and your story. You're an international miracle maker, right? And that's a pretty big title. And I'm so proud of you for owning that title. So tell me what that is. Who are you? What do you do? And then what is the energy of miracles?
Oh my gosh, that is such a broad question. Would you like me to start at how we started creating miracles?
Yeah. No, I want to hear. We want to hear about you first.
Yeah, about me. Okay. Well, I started off, I'm a very, very sensitive person. I'm a ginger, so I'm sensy.
I'm not a ginger and I'm sensy, so
I know I like to blame it on being a ginger, but I'm sensitive, and I grew up as a young kid. Like, I remember having a moment with my mother sitting on the bed when I was 5, feeling suicidal. And from a very, very little kid, I struggled with, like having existential crises when I was a child, and being depressed and struggling with suicidal thoughts and anxiety from a very, very small age. And it wasn't until I started connecting to spirit and realizing that everything was connected, and that I had the power to create my life through my mind. I had the power to shift my emotions, the power to have anything I really wanted in my life through my mind, through consciousness, through my spirit. That's when literally so many of my symptoms of depression and anxiety shifted overnight.
Wow. So talk about that when you're 5 years old and you're sensitive, and I know how gifted you are, right? You feel things, and you just have inner knowings. And so talk about being a young child, having those gifts, and being so overwhelmed with those gifts that at 5 years old you thought about taking your life. That's incredible.
I don't know where that came from. I've never told
Mm,
anybody. And
mm,
I think this has to do with the prayer that I said before this call, which was just, Spirit, I turn my mouth over to you. I turn my
mm.
words over to you. I never even told anybody that. So when you
Yeah,
ask me,
I
like,
bring
tell me
out
more
souls.
about that.
So I bring out the depths of your soul. So tell me even more. Let's fast forward to when you were struggling as an entrepreneur, just starting out your business, and you were homeless. And now you run a multi-million dollar business. You create
Mm.
miracles for other people's business that truly activate their soul. And so let's fast forward from 5 to being in adulthood, and let's explain your true story, because you're being really safe. Like, I know your story and it is beautiful. It gave me chills. So like, go into the depths of you so our audience can know who you are.
It is. So, in my 20s, I started a hair salon, and it was successful from overnight success. I mean, nothing is an overnight success, but it was really truly a magical spirit-led experience, and that hair salon still exists. So I had this like amazing experience having a really successful business. And then my wife and I, Rosie, we moved to Asheville, North Carolina, and we opened a yoga studio.
Mm.
And it was a total and absolute failure. It was just like constant money leak, constant stress, constant drain. And we are sitting I'm sitting in the bedroom stressing out, and she's on the computer like trying to figure out what to do, because when that's our pattern. When we're in our shadows, she goes into save the day and I go into like woe is me victim mode. Super cute. But so this is, like 10 years ago, and we're in this pattern, and she gets this message from the other room: listen to Abraham Hicks. And
Mm.
I'm on my phone listening to something, and it's just like Abraham Hicks next up. And I walk through the room where she's on the computer, and I see it on her computer. I'm like, this is before algorithms are really that smart. I didn't know that. I was like, what is going on here? So we listened to it, and I just had this like massive spiritual awakening. It
Mm.
wasn't just like vision boards and um, thinking all about what you wanted. You actually had to align with the belief and the feeling of having it. And
Mm.
you had to stop doing all those things that you were doing that were blocking you from having what you want. And for me with the yoga studio, it was total unworthiness, total self-sacrifice. Um, when I created the dream of the yoga studio, it was I wanted to move to Asheville and live a simple life and grow my own food. And I had started to feel a lot of guilt from being successful with the hair salon. For those of you who don't know, I'm LGBTQ, I'm trans, so I was born a woman, now I'm a man. Woohoo! Actually, I'm not really in a box. I'm totally labelless, but for society purposes, I'm trans. Now I'm a man. But you can't label infinite, so
I love that. Well, I'm so proud of you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. And so let's talk about that journey of insecurity and being valued, and knowing where you are and knowing your worth. And then all of a sudden, fast forward, you had a successful business, and then you guys were homeless, right?
Yeah, so I went from having a lot of success and sabotaging it because I started to feel guilty that I was more successful than my peers. And things like guilt, fear, shame will lead you to make decisions that are that are decisions that aren't as big as your soul. And so we open a
Mm,
yoga studio to just serve and live a simple life, and we don't need a lot of money. So what did we attract? Not a lot of money. We
mm,
were struggling hardcore, and then we find Abraham Hicks, and we are like, oh my god, we created this entire life vision based on we don't need a lot to get by, we can live a simple life. We like just like total self-diminishment, like from a place of no
mm,
self-love, not even like honoring what we really wanted. So we had the yoga studio for about 2 years, and as soon as we realized that we had created a vision from a small mind, we
mm.
decided, let's actually start dreaming for exactly what we want and believing we can have it. And so this is my wife. We have our business together. She's a total Harry Potter fan. And she's like, Harry Potter, Harry Potter, Harry Potter. And we were yoga teachers at the time, and I'd always dreamed of like traveling all over the world and teaching yoga retreats and going to different studios, just meeting a lot of beautiful people. and bringing our magic of yoga to the world, which our magic of yoga is like throwing blocks and running around the room and screaming and just having fun and letting go like children and doing steamroller and rolling across each other and spooning and cuddling and just laughing really hard on just being a child. That's our version of yoga. I mean, it starts off as yoga and then somehow it turns into that. So that was our dream. And we would just go on these beautiful walks every single day and let go of fear, let go of worry, let go of doubt, let go of any insecurity. And we got a message from this international yoga teacher that was like, I want to teach a workshop at your studio. And we're like, yes, you will. And then we got another message from this yoga teacher in Scotland that said, move to Scotland and come teach at my yoga studio while I travel the world. And we were like, oh, that's all you have to do is believe. And not just like pretend you're believing, but like when you're really believing in your dream, you will feel good. Okay.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the feeling of emotion, because this channel, my viewers are very, very, very aware of manifestation in the process. Let's talk about the difference between just visualization and, you know, all the things that are in very, very mainstream right now, and truly talking into the quantum world about going deep into the miracle energy and what that looks like and how you actually tap into your miracle energy that's inside of you.
Yeah. So when you really believe in your dream, you will feel good. You will feel joyful. You will feel alive. You will feel lit up, and you will lose the limited beliefs about yourself. You will lose the doubts. You will lose time, space. You will lose your identity of the person who can't do it. You will lose the identity of the person who has to please everybody. And you will, you know, like Joe Dispenza says, you'll enter into a world of no time, no space, no self.
So how would you say now, because you're such a beautiful success, you and Rosie have built a multi-million-dollar company that's international, right? And you do internationally speaking, you have run retreats all over the world. So going from homeless, living out of your car, to that situation, what was that pocket for our viewers that don't know how to actually tap into the realm? So give us some takeaways of the meat and the juice of how to actually do that.
Well, so we ended up going to Scotland and teaching in Scotland and just letting go of our identities, letting go of everything in Scotland. And then we came back and we had nothing. We came back to America. We're living out of a car. We're basically feeding ourselves off credit cards, but we didn't feel bad. That was the difference between when we had the yoga studio and we were in constant worry versus when we were living out of our car and we're homeless and we're like, we have access to the stuff that creates worlds, the stuff that creates miracles at our fingertips. And when you believe that, you will feel joyful, you will feel elated, you will feel total loss of limitation, and you can create anything. And we knew in our souls' hearts that we had the power to teach this because of what we had already created. And so we started a coaching business, and I'm like, I've had a lot of success with the hair salon. I had total failure with the yoga studio. And I realized the difference was joy, elation, and belief. And so we started teaching this. We started helping people. We started helping people a lot with relationships, a lot with the feeling of worthiness, because that's how I manifested Rosie into my life, with healing my heart and through joy and elation. And so Rosie and I built this freaking incredible coaching business. And it's been based off of all having fun and joy and, feeling your worthiness and connecting to what you truly desire, letting yourself have what you want. And we're always on the hunt to push the edges of the industry and make it something new and unique.
So talk to me about that, because your practice is not the normal coaching business at all, right? So joy, elation, and play are who you are from your core, right? And so is Rosie. And so tell us about what you do with your clients and how you actually tap into their emotional body and connect it to their energetic body at the same time.
So what I think my real true gift on this planet is I set people free. So at our events, we have people like eating chocolate cake out of each other's belly buttons, kissing strangers with consent, of course, just unleashing the limitations of who they think they can be. But one of the things that I really, really love is helping people let go in an instant.
Wow.
Go from resistance, stress, overwhelm to letting go in an instant. And we noticed when people let go instantly, miracles were happening at our events. Like the quantum entanglement, where you're connected to somebody else and you want them to change, but then you go and do the work on yourself, you change, and all of a sudden your husband, who hasn't had a driver's license for 8 years, that you've been chauffeuring around for 8 years, all of a sudden you get home from our event and he went and got his driver's license, because you're doing the work on yourself. You're changing your belief. You're changing your expectation. Your entire life changes. It's like rapid, instant quantum connection, total miracles. So
tell us a little bit about the process of the miracle making, because it's a specific energy that you have to tap into. And how do you get there? Like what is the exact process to get to the miracle energy? Because we all have it within us, right?
We all have it within us. So one of my favorite things that we do is at the end of our 4-day event, and I don't want to give away too much of what happens there because it's really about the mystery. But at the end of our 4-day event, when we've gotten people to see all of their limitations that they've been holding all of their life, experience the pain of those limitations, experience the impact of those limitations, completely shed and let go of them, but then also step into a new free version of themselves, a completely new identity. So we take them through that whole process, which is just like the shedding of the snake skin and becoming something totally brand new. We take them through that process. And then on day 4, we help them tap into what I call is the miracle energy, which is tapping into the belief of something bigger than yourself. Completely letting
go ahead.
Yeah, keep going. Completely letting go of your current reality. Suspending yourself in so much in the present reality, which is actually the reality of the miracle already happening, that there is absolutely no room for it not to happen. And we do that through magical immersive experiences, which is lights, sounds, music, cueing the subconscious mind, retraining it, and then focusing it towards something bigger than yourself.
So you use the mind body, the energetic body, the emotional body, and you combine them all at the same time using their senses to connect them into the quantum fields. That's what it sounds like, right?
100%. It's just like full on sensory experiences to transform you into the quantum realm and help you access God, source, energy, power right now to create exactly what you want.
Beautiful, beautiful. So we are going to take a quick break right now, and we're going to come back, and then we're going to actually have you give some key takeaways of somebody that is in the midst of their limiting beliefs and what's going on. But we will be right back, guys. Stay tuned, guys, because we have much more miracles to come. We will be right back. It's in 30 seconds. Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being on the Soul on Fire show. Today is Wednesday and we are teaching, and today we're teaching about the energy of the miracle energy and how to tap into your own energies of miracles. Thank you so much for being here on the live. Thank you so much for being on the replay. And what we are here today talking about is your inner power and your inner gift to actually tap into the miracles power that you have within inside you. Kit Volcano is here with us, and he is an international miracle maker, a transformational coach, and he truly works with your soul to tap into the highest version of you. Hi, Kit. Welcome back. Thank you again for being here. So let's talk specifically for takeaways for people that are in the pocket of, not the pocket of yet quite the miracle energy, which is your future energy, and you tap them into your future self, but the actual present moment of right now. And that when they're stuck in the thick of things, let's talk about that and how you truly move them from one level of consciousness to the next.
Honestly, I think it's a separation from reality.
Mm.
One of the things that Rosie and I do is we take people to Disneyland to create miracles. And the reason we take them to Disneyland is because when you wake up in your everyday life and you're always expecting the same thing, you'll always get the same thing. But do you remember when you were a little kid and you had a field trip that you were going on, or going to an amusement park, and you woke up eyes wide open, ready to go because you were expecting the world to be different? And so Rosie and I, when we have business meetings, we go to Disneyland because we
Mm.
want to open our consciousness to something bigger than our everyday life. And so we go to brainstorm at Disneyland, and we're on the way to Disneyland. And she's reading to me this book called from Lynn McTaggart, called The Power of Eight. And
Mm.
Lynn McTaggart was a skeptic journalist who would infiltrate spiritual groups to prove that woo-woo manifestation circles and intention settings were just hogwash and they didn't work. And what she found out was not only did they not that were these intention settings working, but they were creating miracles. Like crazy things would happen for people. And she goes and scientifically studies what creates a miracle. And what creates a miracle is loss of reality,
Wow.
getting yourself out of the everyday benign grind, getting yourself out of the unknown, but then also cueing the subconscious mind to expect something wild to happen. And the way that
Mm.
you do that is through lights, pageantry, song, music, chants, dance, costume, feathers, like all of those things that you see in, indigenous ceremonies.
Mm-hmm.
It's cues the subconscious mind to believe that something magical is about to happen, and then also
Mm.
you connect it to something bigger than yourself. So it's loss of self, loss of time, expectation of something magical, separation of reality, and a clear intent towards what you want to happen. So Rosie's reading this book to me as we're driving to Disneyland, and we are like, oh my gosh, Disneyland is the place to create miracles.
Mm.
So we're like, let's see what we can do within the confines of this experiment. And so we go on rides and we're like, let's set intentions on a ride. When the ride drops and you completely lose yourself, you lose loss of time, you lose loss of self, you lose the annoyance that your dog just peed on the floor, you lose the scarcity of like, how am I going to pay rent? You lose the, oh my gosh, when is my soulmate going to come into my life? You lose all of that. You lose all limitation because you can't think of anything other than your heart dropping into your chest and the joy and the endorphins flowing through your body. In that moment when we lose ourselves, will we have access to higher consciousness? Will we have access to spirit to and the quantum realm to create miracles? And the answer was yes. So we
Wow.
started making these little wishes. First we're like, let's get a client. We get off the ride, we got a client. Next was, let's get our client a client. Our client got a client. So then we decide to take a large group of people on a roller coaster to create a big group miracle. So we put them through our 4-day event Magma and help them lose their sense of their identity that holds them back. And then we tell them at the end of the event, you all are magical. You have just experienced that here. And we're going to take this home a little bit further and show you just how magical you are. We're going to take you on a ride to create a group miracle for something outside of ourselves, a generous miracle. And our coach who worked for us, her name was Audrey. Her brother had just been diagnosed with a brain tumor, not a brain cancer, a brain tumor. And we're like, you know what? She lost her mom to cancer. I don't want her to lose her brother, even though her brother is a skeptic. We're going to create a miracle for him. So we take them all on a ride and we get them seeing him happy, healthy, healed, just casting that vision into the universe. And we tell them, when you lose yourself on the ride, hold that vision in your heart, feel your access to the quantum realms, feel your total loss of limitation, and cast that miracle out into the world. Well,
Mm.
6 weeks later, the brain tumor had calcified.
Wow.
So since
Wow.
then, we take large groups of people to Disneyland. We do it without the rides too at our event because we had to start learning how to do it without rides. But we've healed stage 4 pancreatic cancer, total remission.
Wow.
People going from homeless to having six-figure jobs, just like myself. What else? But that was like an overnight, almost to six figures, like in 1 week. My favorite miracle, and this was without the ride. We do this at our 4-day magma event. Was a little boy had a heart that the beat outside of his body. He had lost his heart due to chicken pox. His body rejected his heart. I think he was a 4-year-old boy. His name was Kit, and his mother was his father was 5 hours away with his sibling, and his mother was in the hospital with him with his heart for I think like 6 weeks, and he needed a heart transplant, and they didn't know if he was going to make it with this Berlin heart pumping outside of his body. They didn't know how long he was going to make it. So as a group, we decide that we are going to create a miracle for this little boy. Mm-hmm. And we don't have the ride to help people lose their sense of self, but we've already done the work in the event of losing your sense of self. We've already done the work of attuning people as healers and getting them to believe in the power of the universe and the power of letting go of your limitations. And so we drop them into the quantum realm, and we see this boy, a heart that beats, and Kit is complete. And 6 days later, on my wife's birthday, she woke up to a message saying that he got a new heart.
And his name was Kit. I love that so much.
And his name was Kit. So the power of the mind and the collective human consciousness and bringing it to create miracles is insane. But once you see the power of that, it's impossible not to start creating magic for your own life.
I love that so much. So let's talk about the power of identity and how you brought that word up a couple of times, and it's such a powerful word. And so people attach to the story of an identity. Let's talk about that and go down that path and how that could be destructive, or it could actually tap you into the miracle energy in a productive way as well.
Yeah, I mean, the power of identity. Oh, this is a huge one. I think this is also greatly linked to trauma, like and it's also greatly linked to our life lessons. If there's anybody watching who has had something happen to them over and over and over and over again, they start to identify as a broke person. Me, I had a trauma around my voice, and I had a microphone phobia, and I identified as somebody who was just like a small person, a weak person, somebody nobody wanted to hear, and you subscribe to that reality. It just repeats over and over and over and over again, and then you start attracting things in your life to affirm that reality, and it becomes an identity. It becomes something that you label yourself as, and it also sometimes can become a limitation.
So let's talk about those limitations and what do they create in your life when you're on that looping pattern, and the neurolinguistics of the brain that you truly believe that you're not worthy, you're not lovable, you're not safe, secure, and protected in the society that we have built around really truly an unworthy society, right? And so how do you tap into someone's worthiness or being lovable in a paradigm of complete chaos at times, right? I could say that honestly, right? And so how do we allow ourselves, and this is what I teach, but I want you guys of miracles to understand that there is a different reality that we can actually live, and making our subconscious understand that we believe that enough to merge with the energy of it.
Oh, I have a great answer that just came through me. Is first, look at what you're justifying in your life.
I love that.
What are you making justifications for? Yeah, but. And what yeah, but this, yeah, but that, yeah, but I can't because of this, yeah, but I can't because of that. Those are the identities that you carry. Those are your limitations. Justifications, and I call them your butt stories.
And so when somebody has those, what do you do with them? How do you work with them to get them into the quantum field? And I understand that you make miracles when you release the reality, but in their daily life, when they're not at Disneyland, or when they are going through your program, what are some of the tools and takeaways that you use with them?
Well, first, yeah, but it doesn't have to be true. That's just the absolute truth. It's like every single limitation that you are holding right now, it doesn't have to be true. But then also taking them into the pain of it. If people are really attached to their pain, and it is looping and looping and looping. And I think this is one thing that coach is really afraid, often they really away from doing, is taking them into the deep pain of it, taking them into the also the consciousness of like, look at what this belief that you are addicted to and subscribe to is creating in your life. And so you see like, oh gosh, I actually have one coming up in my life right now that I would totally be willing to share. Because for me, I think as a coach, it's really important to be vulnerable and not a guru. It's like we're on a journey. We're not here to be gurus and be better than people. We're here to do the work with people alongside of them. We're here to show them that there's not this end goal. It's we're constantly evolving. So one of the things I do is I do the work with people. So I would be totally open to sharing the story that is repeating in my life that I'm actually breaking out of right now. And that is, for me, I have this repeating story in my life that keeps happening of I sacrifice my needs and my dreams to make other people's dreams come true.
And so that's in this community, there's a lot of healers in this community. That's a big one for healers, empaths, light workers, right? Starseeds. So let's talk about that, because that's a very important topic for people that feel from their soul, right? You and I feel everything. And so we think that our purpose here on this planet is to give and serve, which it is, right? We're doing in service. But let's talk about being grounded in our power versus giving away your power.
Yeah. So if you are here, like, right now I've been doing a lot of work around this wound of sacrificing myself, my needs, my desires, my dreams to make somebody else's dreams come true. And it's happened in a few pockets of my life, and I'm starting to see it as a repeating pattern, a really, really big like soul wound that I think I'm here to heal. You know, I think it's one of my life lessons is not stepping into my power and is learning how to own my power. So the first time that wound came up for me was when I sold my hair salon. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I thought I showed my moon off. So good. It's 333, so maybe we're supposed to honor that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's my gratitude. Really? Actually, that's my gratitude alarm, and I forgot to turn it off during my show, but I have a gratitude alarm that goes off all day long. So it's 333, and we just get to, whatever you were saying is magical and miracles gets to send out because we just had a gratitude alarm. So.
Yeah, I that is so good. And it said when we were in the grounding room, like whenever, if glitches, if anything weird happens, I program myself to celebrate instead of programming myself to go into stress. And that's literally it right there. It's like, oh, it's when you are faced with the choice to be the automatic programming of who you are, choose something different, even if it feels so uncomfortable. And it's literally going to feel like death. It's literally going to feel like death when you have to let it go of a part of yourself that you've held on to for survival or you think you need. And for me in this situation, I thought I needed to please others to be worthy. Wow. Thought that that if I said no and other people didn't agree with me, there was something wrong with me. And so when I sold my hair salon, oh gosh, this is such a beautiful wound that has been coming up for me that I've been healing through. But I think it's really cool to be able to do it live with people because they get to see what happens. When I sold my hair salon back in, I think like 2015, I brought it to this woman who worked for me, and she told me it was her dream. She was cutting my hair. I was her boss, and she said, it's always my dream to own a hair salon. And then my partner wanted to sell her side, and I was like, oh my God, I can make this other person's dream come true. Yay me. And so we get into the process of selling it to her, and then something said, no, Kit. Oh, you do this on your own. But I got scared. I didn't think I could do it on my own. I thought I needed help. Thought like, oh, if I back out on this person whose dream this is, then you're a bad person. I don't know if I can.
No, don't. No, we're not national television.
I caught it.
And my executive producer thanked you.
Got it. Good. I curse all the time, and literally I'm making a choice to not be part of my identity on this show. For you. But
Thank you.
I just like, you're a bad person. Nobody's gonna like you if you say no to this person when it's their dream and it's your job. Like, you're here to make other people's dreams come true. You're a miracle maker. And so I I went through with the sale. And
Mm,
later it was just not going well. And she said, I didn't want to do it, but I wanted to please you. And then it
mm,
ended up being a relationship that was totally destroyed because we both didn't say no to please the other person.
mm.
And then
So
it
what does
happened.
that look like when you're sacrificing so much? I love that word, but because it's not even a very high vibration. When you're sacrificing so much that you're not stepping into, and you and I have discussed this, your zone of excellence and your zone of genius, right? And so your zone of genius is really, your zone of excellence is where you're very, very comfortable. And so when you give all the time, that's like an excellence energy, right? But your genius energy is when you teach people and empower people from that space, right?
Yeah, for me, it's just like, I've been learning this lesson over and over again. I learned it again when our hair studio, my yoga studio, or tried to, and then I learned it again when I chose to co-parent with other people. And I sacrificed my true knowing.
Hmm. Well, let's talk about that. And we're going to actually take a quick commercial break. And then I want to talk about the knowing, because that is something where you and I had a conversation and I said, well, how do you know? And you said, I just know. And so we're going to talk about trusting your intuition when we come back, because that's such a key component of the miracle energy, right? Is your intuition. But we will be right back, guys. Today's show is sponsored by my company, Noelle Agape Global, where we truly, truly tap into your soul's purpose. We set your soul on fire and ignite the passion within. We will be right back, guys. Stay tuned. Hi, guys. Welcome to the Soul on Fire show. Today, we are talking about the miracle energy with the international miracle maker, Kit Volcano. Thank you so much, Kit, for being here. We have gone into so many juicy topics. We've talked about how to understand the quantum realms and the highest version of yourself, but tapping into the miracle energy and facing your identity that you have to truly let go of. Now, let's talk about your intuition and your internal guidance system, Kit, because that is one of the biggest components of the miracle energy, right? So let's talk about that
Ooh.
and how you have this inner knowing. I have this inner knowing, and many people watching this channel know things, but they don't follow that intuition. And what happens if you do follow it, and what happens if you don't follow it?
Yeah. So, I think intuition is a really juicy topic because for me, my intuition comes through in a knowing. And
Hmm.
it's tricky. There are some people, I worked with a lot of spiritual teachers and they're always like, visualize, see this. And I couldn't ever connect to the meditations because I am a feeler and a knower. And there are different ways of connecting to spirit based on your blueprint or your body or who you are, how you came into this world. There's seeing, there's auditory, clairaudience, there's claircognizance, which is a knowing. Some people even have the clair.
Clairescence.
Yep, and
Clairescence.
some people smell. Some people
I
can
have all
pick
of them.
up on the spirit world through smell and taste.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
And so let's talk about your five senses and how they are so in tune when you're in touch with spirit, and what that looks like, and just the guidance that comes through you, and knowing between your ego and your higher self. Did you?
yep, that's a tricky one, knowing between your ego and your higher self. For me, it's, am I trying to manipulate the situation to get something out of this? If that's true, whether it's am I trying to be liked? Am I trying to get the outcome to be exactly my way? Am I trying, it's all, honestly, it all comes down to, am I trying to be liked by someone else? Am I trying to please? Am I trying to get this person to approve of me? Am I trying to get them to do this thing for me? If that is your intention and you are attached to an outcome, be an ego. But God really will start through you and use your intuition when you're not attached, when you can say, I let go. And then you can just surrender to your desires, surrender to your needs, and just communicate from a free flowing place when you're not trying to get something out of it. Yes, you can have an intention and need a desire, but you can just make it a preference and say, this is what I'd like to get out of this, God, but also flow through me, use me, share me. And that means being able to honor exactly who you are, not trying to make yourself who you're not. So if you have a boundary with somebody, or you don't like something, that's saying, this doesn't feel good to me. Something is off. It doesn't necessarily mean like this is a hard, it means something is unexplored here that I need to say no first so we can explore it before yes. Or this is actually a no and it's a no for you, but I need to have the courage to stand up and say it. And it can be the opposite as well. Be like, gosh, this person is such a yes for me. But I'm afraid of, yes!
I don't know why it keeps going off, but it keeps going off. So I literally turned it off. I literally turned it off and it went again. So the Spirit's trying to tell us something. So for me, I believe that the difference between my intuition and ego comes from when it feels really, really good and it feels divine and it is it's like you said, an inner knowing. And I feel fiercely. I use all my senses, and when I'm tapped in, the greatest gift for me is when I feel good, when it feels great, and it's not feeling good out of codependency or feeling good out of something. It's just naturally feels good and it flows very easily. When I lean back and I'm more in my divine feminine of receiving, that's when I know it's the pocket. So tell me about the difference between when it feels good and when it doesn't feel good, but you do something anyway, because that's a lot of what we were talking about too, is not having boundaries and going through that. So the ego wants to heal. The ego wants to stay safe. The ego wants to stay in that pocket. But the energy of genius, which is the miracle energy, that truly is divinity. And so let's talk about the pure difference between the ego and divinity and how it looks in the physical world.
Yeah, so I can use an example. When you're going into, let's say, a soul contract with another human being. Let's even just say like a sales experience with a coach, and something feels off. Or you're a coach and you feel something off in your client. If you try to push through to the yes, that is your ego. But if you actually decide to space of the sacred relationship and say, something feels off here, what is it? And you explore all of those pieces, you have the freedom to make real empowered choices that are in alignment with spirit. Or you have freedom to go into a soul contract whole and complete because you left nothing off the table.
I love that. I love that. So let's talk very quickly about soul contracts and what they are. And so I mean, everybody that's watching this channel probably knows, but for me, soul contracts are you jump in and you say, okay, these are the lessons I'm going to learn. And your sacred contract is your destiny and your soul's purpose. So your soul contracts teach you to get to your destiny and your sacred contract, right? So that being said, let's talk about how you and Rosie truly create miracles in your business, because we have about 10 minutes left and I want to really highlight what you do. I know that you talked about how you go into Disneyland and you make miracles, you change lives and everything, but let's talk about your programs, because those are truly life-changing, Kit, and they're so different than anything else. And I just want to highlight that for a moment right now.
So one of the things that we do is our 4-day, it's online magma event. And I call this a spiritual gutting, which is, it's a little volcano, it's magma, and it's about going in and really seeing the patterns of your life where you are creating and repeating the same havoc over and over and over and over again that will continue to repeat unless you decide to make the new scary choice. And so for Noelle, you said something like, I know it's right when it feels good.
Hmm.
Some people have a loop and a pattern that is so ingrained and repeating so much that getting out and making a new decision feels terrifying. It
Mm.
feels like death. And because it is that, like, to make new decisions that will change your life, you literally go through a death process
Mm.
because you're letting go of a part of yourself that has kept you safe. And so in this event, we create that container for you to let go of those pieces of you and become brand new.
Let's talk about some of your clients and how you have you've told us about massive, massive things that you have done. But what do they actually go through? Like, let's walk through the process of what they go through from, coming to you feeling broken when obviously no one's broken, but feeling broken, and then literally, truly miracles happen in their lives. So let's talk about the step-by-step process that happens.
So I think one of the things that I love is the incubator of the community.
Mm.
Um, you come and you bring your limitations, your problems, your stuff. You work with the coach. It's one of the things I love about our program is you work with a one-to-one coach. You have the content, you have community. You have I call it the 7-layer accountability dip system because I like hilarious names. And but there's literally, like, you can't your limitations can't slip through, or it's really hard to slip through with your limitations. But in the community, you will have these quests and these challenges or these wounds that come up, and there'll be other people in the community that represent your father, your mother, your partner, your boyfriend, and you
Mm.
can but you have the metacognition, the bird's eye view, the community to see, hey, this pattern that you told me about 3 weeks ago, it's starting to express with Kate over here. This sister wound that you had when you were 8, when you were 14, when you were 30, it's repeating with Kate over here. And then Kate
Mm.
doesn't even freaking know. But then over here, Kate is working with her coach and having the same wound coming back on that person. But you've got the community of the bird's eye view of seeing, like, hey, cool, this is actually happening. And we're all here to support their breakthrough. We're all here to support their transformation. And then we create that safe, loving space for them to actually work through it together and make new choices in a safe space where their nervous system can be regulated.
Mm.
And you go and you make those choices and you practice it over and over and over again. And then you go out into your regular life, and all of a sudden you make a new choice and everything shifts around you.
So let's talk about the power of we and how in a collective consciousness community that you've created for these people that truly changes their lives, the power of collective consciousness coming together as one, and when two or more come together, right? I believe in that truly. And that's how you and I met, was at a mastermind. So let's talk about the power of that coming together and bringing your energies together of everything that you just said, and how it truly changes lives on just the masses, because so many people are holding space for others in that community.
Yeah, what we really do is we just teach people to be themselves. And when you
Mm.
be yourself completely, you will trigger other people's wounds. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them. It just means that we're here to evolve and heal together. And the more yourself you are, the more those divine contracts come through for you to overcome yourself, overcome your wounds, and just love who you are.
I
Because there's
love that.
nothing more magical than, like, being able to trigger somebody else in a very benign way and loving yourself no matter what. And loving them no matter what.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. And I love what you've created in this world. And it's so much, you truly are a gift, truly are a gift. I will link. So can you say the link one more time? I'll actually put it in all of
Um,
the description as well.
so this is actually the magmaevent.com/soulfire. Rosie and I, my wife, we made a decision that everybody watching the Soulfire episode, because it is going to be our last online transformational event, and we have no limitation to how many people we can take. We just decided to create a miracle for anybody watching and allow them to attend the event for free. It's normally a $497 event, and I was just like, you know what? Bring it, universe, bring it.
That's
I can
amazing.
I
Thank
can
you.
handle this.
So guys, if you want a life miracle, absolutely. It's magnetevent.com sold it's backslash slow fire. I'll link it in the comments below. It is a free, did I hear that? You're right. A free
Well,
community for
so the way that it works is it's a 4-day event. You have to come to every single day, and there's a $47 deposit that you get back when you come to the event, because I don't want people just be like, oh, casually, I want, maybe I'll do this, maybe I won't. I want people to come to an event who are like, I know I have to be here. I have a soul contract with this person. And I was just like, you know what? I don't have any limitations as to why I can't give this right now. I'm going to. Yes, when we have an in-person event, I'll charge. But it's like, let's just blow this up. Let's just make as many miracles and as much magic as possible for the people who are supposed to be here.
I
So
love that
there's
so
the
much.
link. Yeah.
This is well, guys. This man truly. I have known you. We've known each other for like what 3 weeks, right? Did
I
I?
saw you at the airport and I thought she's going to the event and I'm going to know her. And I did not say anything. But that's the kind of thing
Were
that
we on the same plane? Were we on the same plane, or we took different planes to New York?
What did you take? Delta?
I took Delta. Yeah,
We were on the same plane.
that's
And
so
we got
crazy.
off and I looked at you and I thought, she's going to be there. And we looked at each other in the airport.
Yep.
And I knew it. And this is the identity holding you back from moving forward and saying, hey, I'm Kit. Are you going to this event? I just knew it. Don't question, when you question your knowing, it just, yes, we were meant to meet anyway, but how much more magical would it have been if I walked up to the airport and said, I just know you're going? Like, what's the worst that can happen? You were wrong, but what's the best that can happen? You increase your confidence and your intuition and your awareness, and you build this magical soul connection with the person that you're supposed to meet. Like, thank God you went to the event, because we're like so meant to know each other. But how many people are you passing in everyday life that your fears, your limitations, your worries hold you back from saying, I feel you. I know you. We're supposed to have a conversation right now, and I don't know why.
Wow. So beautiful. And I can't even tell you, I mean, the magic that has happened in the last 3 weeks in your life and my life, like we have just met, like we went to another event the other day and we met like so many people. And all I could say, guys, is trust your intuition. He came up to me at the event and he was like, I think I saw you in the airport. And literally I was not even supposed
I
to.
knew.
I wasn't even getting on that plane. I booked that ticket literally at 1:00 in the morning. And from that space, I have like probably 600 connections. I'm not even kidding. So if you can connect the dots, if you need a community, if you need a miracle in your life, please, please, please go to magnetevent.com/soulfire. Kit will change your life. I promise you, he is magic. Him and I have literally just became instant best friends in 3 weeks. And we have so much to bring to you, but he is magical, and him and Rosie together truly do create miracles. Thank you so much, Kit, for being here. Where can everybody find you? That's a big one, because if they want to follow you on social media or anything like that, where can they find you?
I am at Kit Volcano on Instagram. You can just search me on Facebook. I love Facebook. Facebook does a lot of magical things for me. Kitten Volcano, Kitten W Volcano on the Facebook, and also littlevolcano.com.
littlevolcano.com. And so do you all of your services on your website?
I'm sorry, thelittlevolcano.com.
So thelittlevolcano.com. If you send that to me, I'll actually link that in all of the comments as well. And Kit, you are a miracle to this world. Thank you so much for bringing your light to this world and changing humanity.
I absolutely am a miracle to this world. And that's the one thing I want to leave with everybody is when you do believe you are a miracle to this world, the universe matches your energy and responds to it.
That is so beautiful. So last takeaway, we got a couple minutes, but I have to do my closing thoughts. So 1 minute, last takeaway for anybody that needs a miracle in their life right now.
Stop thinking you need one.
You told me that the other day. So what is the need energy and what's the difference?
Stop thinking you need one. my favorite story, and I'll make it really quick, is one of the people who came to our event was on the verge of homelessness. She was going to get kicked out of her house, and she was freaking out about it for the full 4 days and just begging and pleading and whining. And then finally, one of the people at the event got into a car accident, lost 70% of her blood. And on day 4, we created a miracle for her and her partner to live, who had severed her spine. And it was her getting out of herself and letting go of her need, her scarcity, her fear, and putting it all towards Janie and creating her miracle. After we created the miracle, she was walking down the street and a woman came up to her and said, "How are you doing?" And she said, "Well, I'm looking for a place." And the woman said, "Here, our place is empty. You can have it for the next 6 months."
Wow. And that truly is the miracle energy. And you are a miracle to this world, and each of you are a miracle. Thank you, Kit. We have much more work to do and much more things we're going to play together on, and many projects together. I love you and I honor you, and I'm so grateful for you to bring all of your gifts out to this world. Give Rosie a big hug for me when she comes home tonight. And I promise you guys, if you go to thelittle.volcano.com and work with him and Rosie, they will change your life, guys. Thank you, Kit, for being here.
Thank you so much. Mwah.
Oh, so good. My gosh, guys, what a beautiful, beautiful show. He truly, truly changes lives. He transforms lives. He allows you to see that you are a miracle. You are a gift to this world, and you have absolute power within you that will never, ever, ever die. But I promise you guys, if it is activated, your soul on fire truly means that when you ignite that passion within, that you are living your truth. You are living your life in your highest version of you. You are absolutely tapped in, tuned in, turned on, as Abraham Hicks says, or Esther Hicks says. And when you are connected to your higher self, and when you are connected to God's source in the universe, it is the Christ consciousness. The miracle energy is the Christ consciousness. Each of you has that inside of you. You are God's source universe in a physical body. You are here on purpose, for purpose. You are so loved, and you are so, so, so gifted. And if you need support in any way, please visit thekitvolcano.com. If you want to go even further and you want to come on a retreat, a soul revival retreat, you could come to the Soul on. Oh, that's Kit's website. You could go to themegaevent.com. If you would like to go even further, and go to noelleagape.com, where there is free activations, there are free meditations, there are things that you could truly, truly do to change your life right now that don't cost you a penny. Kit's program is completely free, as well as there's many free things on my website. There's no excuse in the world for you not to step in your power anymore, primarily because if you stay in the victim, you will never be the miracle that you are. I promise you guys, you are more powerful than you will ever know. You are God's source energy that flows through you. I love you from your soul. You are loved. You are supported. You have the ability to change your life and everybody else around you. I promise you guys, the minute you say yes to you, the universe will subside to that. I love you, and then I'll see you in the next video.